Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Mark here from M1 Racing. Thanks ever so much for joining us. A week or so ago, we released some highlights from round 7 of the G-Force Racing League from Austin in Texas. There was a lot to talk about then, and we thought we'd do the same this week following round 8 of the G-Force Racing League, which was in Singapore. There was so much to cover, we thought it was worth a quick recap of some of the key events, and we thought you might enjoy some of that on a Saturday. So thank you for joining us. Just to give you a bit of context of how we entered into round 8, these were the standings after Austin. So round 7, where we had a sprint and a feature race, and after that, SS7's lead at the top of the G-Force Racing League had shrunk quite a bit, just down to 3 points over SHS for Aston Martin and Emelecki for McLaren. And now we see J-Repo for Ferrari catching up the top 3, having won both the sprint and the feature race in Austin, looking to make it a four-way battle at the top as we headed into round 8 in Singapore. In the constructors, McLaren was still out in front on 214 points. The combination of Emelecki and Domo Pierce continuing to rack up the points for McLaren, but now being chased down rapidly by Aston Martin with Wands and SHS getting both second place in the sprint and the feature race. And then Ferrari having a great race day in Austin, getting first and third in both the sprint and the feature race, moving them up into third position, leapfrogging Mercedes, who have really only had one race driver all season so far in SS7, but it's now looking like a three-way battle for the Constructors' title. So that's the context as we go into round 8 in Singapore, the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So sit back, relax. If you're here with me watching and you want to have a chat, please do so. It'd be great to say hi to you as we enjoy round 8 of the G-Force Racing League from Singapore. And Peter's telling me that MVR is on a very quick lap here. Yeah, it's coming down this new part of the circuit, I think, here. So, this is in round turn 30. Yeah, coming up to turn 13 now. Just over the bridge here, around to the sharp hairpin, round 13, and now we'll be accelerating down towards turn 14. Hanging into the right, out over that big curve, but stay within track limits. It can easy for our drivers to get across that and go white line and go beyond track limits. Now this new section of the track down into turn 16, we no longer have to go underneath the bridge. Out 16, 17, going to go around 18 and 19. So MVR are about to set their first lap of a 128.342. It's really says wow. Yep. Circuit. But right, looks as though we've got Wands coming around to start their flying lap. So Rio, fingers crossed that Wands will keep it straight. Well, over to you, sir.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't back off like Emelecki did. Over to the back straight, because it's behind the straight. Going into the actual straight, I don't like to lift off too much. I like to go on the very edge of spinning the tires. But down the straight, full throttle until I think around the 150 meter mark, or just after that, around Memorial Corner, and then we go into what I believe is Stamford. Don't go on the throttle too much because you'll spin the tires. And then going through, I'm pretty sure that is Singapore Sling right there. The famous Singapore Sling there for catching drivers out on the chicane. And then we go over the bridge into the hairpin. Once again, that catches a lot of drivers out. You see a lot of drivers going wide, and you see them spinning their tires and everything. Then to the end of the back straight, we've got to watch out for those track limits. They are very, very greedy with those track limits due to Singapore. Coming over here, once again, another chicane likes to catch a lot of drivers out. Going around the back straight, this is where Lance Stroll crashed this year in his his qualifying lap.
And a 1:30.5491, so I think an improvement for Wands on their previous time, by just under 0.8 of a second. So well done to Wands, puts them in 7th place currently. So N1A it has started their next qualifying lap here as we ride on board with them out of 3. Down to turn 5. Over those curbs, not too much curb here because that will throw you into the wall, and then we head out onto the first of many straights here. It's got a slight kink in it, but then we head down towards turn 7, again running out over those curbs as much as we dare. Round 8, tighter one, the walls come at you so quickly on the way out, then down towards turn 9, and then we hit another straight, getting close to those walls as we dare. And as Rio's describing, the Singapore Sling, I don't think Raffles is nearby. Can certainly recommend a Singapore Sling if you get an opportunity to have one in Singapore. Best place to have them. Braking into the corner of 13, back on the power as quickly as we can. Get that DRS open as we charge down towards turn 14. Back on the power again. We'll see the drivers drift out, but you see the track limits there is easy to get beyond that as a driver. Got to stay within that. As we then head down towards turns 16 and 17. A little bit of curb on the inside of both of those corners. Run out towards that wall as close as we dare. Then we're going to slight lift into 18. Back full on the power. Straddle the curb as we come over the line. So N1A has moved up into 3rd. Great lap by N1A. 129.436. So congratulations to them. I'm sure Alfa Romeo will be delighted with that lap. So, Ria, let's go on board with Emeleki as they head round on their next qualifying lap. 3 minutes left to go.
Yeah, Emeleki going around the straight now. I think Emeleki, as you said before, they come and go, but they still show their strength every single race, which is good. Coming around Memorial Corner, going down to Stamford. Very close to the wall, and don't take too much curb, otherwise you'll go straight into that wall.
Emeleki's purple in 6-1, Rio as well.
Oh, he is purple. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't see that, but yeah, it looks like he's doing a good job. He is a fast driver, and no. Yeah.
Did he catch the wall on the way in, or a bit too much curb? I think he caught the wall.
I think he took a bit too much curb.
We should really ride on board, though, with SHS, who is the most likely to challenge MVR. We can see in the chat that MVR is very happy with their qualifying time, so well done to them. We've got a bit of traffic ahead of us for SHS. That may also help give them a bit of a tow on some of the straight parts of the circuit, but we don't want them to get in our way for sure, unless that car in front is also on a hot lap, which they may well be. So SHS powering forward here is slightly up in sector 1, green in sector 1 but not purple, so they're improving on their own time but not yet closing down too much on MVR in front of them. We brake into the hairpin, we get back on the power. There'll be a nice slipstream from the car in front of us. SS7 has finished their qualifying with a 129.098, moving into 3rd place, so SS7 pretty happy with that, I expect, as SHS gets back on the power as we head down towards turn 16 and 17. We don't need to turn right here anymore till the end of this straight. A little bit of that curve on both sides, nice and close to the wall, back on the power, slight lift to the final corner, and we power over the finish line for a 128.915. So a very small improvement for SHS. They just 6 thousandths of a second up on their previous lap. Fortunately, lost 1.5 tenths in that middle sector, but were green in the other two. So classification from qualifying: MVR in as first spot, pole position on the grid for the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. SHS in second. SS7 improving from previous weeks up into third spot, and alongside them, our choice from qualifying N1A for Alfa Romeo, so congratulations to them. Emma Leckie in fifth place for McLaren, and alongside them, David T for Haas. Hypno in seventh for Red Bull, and Obo in eighth for AlphaTauri. Then followed by Wands, L Alex 1, Domo Pierce, Mr. Hannes, and Ace Pilot for Williams. So congratulations to those drivers. We've got thanks, Rio. All right, folks, let's go racing. MVR leads us away. SHS looks to have had a decent start there, but SS7 has had an even better start, actually, and has got right past SHS. I wonder if they had a significant amount of wheel spin, but that has given SS7 the opportunity to move straight up into second place and has dropped SHS very quickly behind them. So looking promising for SS7, but MVR's made a very strong start. N1A in fourth, Emma Leckie in fifth as we come down to the early corners of this round 8 from Singapore of the G-Force Racing League. You'll see it very tight here for the drivers as they warm up these tyres. And as we were talking about tyres right at the very beginning, let's bring those up early doors so we can see what our drivers will be thinking. So, Rio, do you think that tyre choice has impacted SHS and their start there? Because SS7 got a right jump on them.
Yeah, I think SHS might be in the fight with SS7 because he's on hards and SS7 is on mediums, unless SS7's mediums do get down quite a lot, which will give him a good attacking point since he's got the longer lasting tyres, and they are around the same pace in driving, so you could see them battling out with each other in the later stages if they stay in this position.
And I think this is the battle for us to focus on right now in these early laps. So SS7 on these grippier, softer tyres, it's at least allowing them to keep in touch with MVR, who we know from previous weeks when they've been with us is super, super quick. Don't talk to them about the rain in Imola, but they love it when it's dry, that's for sure. And they're leading the way here as we've started lap 2 round Singapore, but they have pulled out such a huge gap, nearly 2 seconds already on the rest of the field. So MVR and SS7 leading away as they go around the back of the circuit here in Singapore. SS7 right up behind MVR. Looks as though there's Emma Leckie has just got past N1A there. So another battle of the medium and hard runners, and indeed there's a further battles. N1A under pressure now, even more by David T and Hypno behind them. DRS now enabled. That's allowing Hypno to get down the inside of the Haas as they come through turn 1 and 2. So places being made up by Hypno there. Very good move by Hypno. And they're on the hard tyres, so David T not enjoying those mediums as much as they might like. With battles various places down the grid and actually position switching. As we see, L Alex are damaged with... and that's taken L Alex out of the race. It looks like as their first safety car comes out, we came to L Alex sadly at just the wrong time for them, but coming together with, I think, the AlphaTauri of Obo. Rio, did you see that?
I don't think I saw, but I might have been Obo.
We've also lost Mr. Hannes as well, so not quite sure whether that was a coming together with the Haas rather than the AlphaTauri. So we have 2 early DNFs. L Alex 1 has left us early, and Mr. Hannes as well. So. And I do see in the Twitch chat that Obo's saying rain. Now, I don't know whether or not they're just pulling our leg or that's actually what they've seen on their from their pit crew. Certainly the forecast is changing on our screens minute by minute. So we started the race with very little chance of rain. We're now already up to 26%. Now, that's still only 1 in 4. But it's going up now actually every minute I speak. So I think rain is inbound, Rio, and that is really going to mix things up for for our drivers. We don't know when it's going to come, but I think it might be quite imminent. A whole bunch of time. You've got to be confident of making that up. Right, safety car is in this lap, so we're going to go green flag racing again on lap 7. MVR is going to lead them away as we are about to go back under full race conditions. So our driver's got to be careful, and MVR's gone. So SHS hopefully on their toes is going to go with them. And it looks as though they did get a good restart. N1A's dropped back a little bit from them, but David T looks to have stuck with N1A pretty well. Let's drop down to them as they go through turns 1, 2 and 3. And now our drivers further down the grid will be looking to make up places as quickly as they can on those newer medium tyres. SS7 already up a place into 7th, so it's working out for them already. We're at 38% chance of rain, folks. I feel like a weather forecaster now. So we're going to be keeping an eye on the clouds in the sky and on the forecast on our screen to see when that rain arrives. Just heading down a little bit further. The cars all obviously very close together after this safety car restart as SS7 is going down the inside of Tomo Pierce. Nice move by SS7 getting past the McLaren. So SS7 on a real charge here, looking to move up the field as quickly as they can, get past these hard runners. They're right behind Obo now as we are on first DRS zone. So DRS will not be activated yet after the safety car, so we'll be 2 laps I believe, but already SS7 motoring Rio on those medium tyres.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, it was a bit unexpected for me. Yeah, he got past those drivers with ease, which you rarely see. But I think he is quite furious on the charge for NVR there, which we might see him get close to, because NVR's tires look like they're starting to drop off because they are quite they're getting old.
And they're certainly not pulling away from SHS as much as I thought that they would do. But SS7 is right on the back now of David T in the Haas, looking to go down the inside. Will be eventually come the outside of the next corner, and they are past already. So SS7 in a bit of a rocket ship right now, very close to that wall as they come out the corner, but on a mission here, and now hunting down N1A in the Alfa Romeo in front of them. Weather forecast says 51% chance of rain. That rain is going to be with us within a matter of laps. Pete, I don't know if you've got any more information for us on when roughly that rain is going to arrive from what you've seen, but it looks very, very imminent here. So SS7 making hay while they can. Now being activated. We're on lap 9 of round 8 of the G-Force Racing League from here at the Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore. Under the lights, anticipating rain, 65% chance as we see Emelecki getting past, or looking to try and get past M1A. They get really close, wheel to wheel on the outside of the corner. Emelecki has made it stick. Very clean but close driving by these two. A cracking move there by Emelecki, Rio.
Yeah, Emelecki nearly got pushed into the wall there. Well, I wouldn't say pushed, but he got very, very close to that wall when entering the end of the straight.
M1A definitely gave them just enough space. So very good driving, very precise driving by both drivers there around this track, where one mistake, as we've seen earlier, one small mistake can result in the end of your race. So SHS under significant pressure now from SS7, with Emelecki right behind them. So SHS really looking to hold on to those hard tyres as much as they can. Peter's telling me rain could be any lap now. We're at 70% chance of rain. So the tension building as the drivers will then need to consider, when do they come in? There's no question they'll need to change tyres. It's when do they change tyres and which tyres do they go in on. These medium tyres will be slightly more sticky even when the rain is starting to come down. But remember, we're on a street circuit here, so this isn't the regular tarmac that you get round a race circuit. This is where we've got all sorts of cars, regular cars running on them It handles the water in a very different way. This surface becomes very slippery very quickly. As we see SS7 trying to find a way past SHS, trying to tight a line out that corner. Looks as though we will now have a run on SHS down to the inside of turn 16. SHS not making it easy for them. Both of them probably on the ERS, but SHS gives that up to SS7. So SS7 moves up into second place, and now SHS will be under pressure from the fast charging Emma Leckie, as well as they now start lap 11 with the rain looking like moments away.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that's a couple of times we've seen them struggling with grip on this circuit. And now I don't know whether or not that's because the rain is perhaps either just in the air, the track is starting to get a little bit moist. Pete is telling me the temperature has dropped significantly from what it was. It's I think the air temperature is 24 degrees. So for those of you that know Singapore, it's usually much warmer than that, even at night time. So there will not be as much grip for these runners as they were used to at the start of the race, and perhaps Emma Leckie starting to feel that. But looks as though they've got their rhythm back now, and he's right behind SHS and trying to make a move past them. It's very close between these two. Emma Leckie going down the inside. SHS trying to hold on to it ever so close as they go wheel to wheel. SHS out of ERS. Look, their red lights flashing on the back of their car. And Emma Leckie has made it past Rio. Another good move by Emma Leckie. Yeah, and a report from the pit lane via our roving reporter Pete is that it is raining. The rain is starting to come down. So we might start seeing it on the camera very, very shortly. And that's going to... Oh, we see N1A and David T have pitted for intermediate tyres already, Rio, and Obo and Wands. That's an early call. Do you think that's the right one?
Yeah, it doesn't look to be raining too hard, but yeah, intermediate tyres will definitely be the choice to go, and might want to keep a close eye on the top four, also top five, and see if they can get through, which I'm sure they will. They're all very good drivers, but it can catch you out very unexpectedly.
And we do see, well, DRS has been disabled by race control. That's no great surprise given the rain has come down. We see Emma Leckie sliding all over the place. SS7 probably think better of perhaps making a move in these conditions. Very easy to put a foot on. They did slightly touch going into that corner there. This braking is going to get incredibly difficult. We can see that rain on our screens, folks, so we can see a rush into the pits. For those that pitted early, that will help their teammates in front. So Wands has got out of the way of SHS. As we see the Williams of Ace Pilot really struggling now. We'll see a dash for all these drivers into the pits. MVR has also gone in already. SS7 coming in, as is SHS. So they're all queuing up now into the pits. Nobody picking up a speeding penalty into the pit lane, which is good news for them. Hopefully no one's going to be stacking here. Domo Pierce hopefully far enough back that they won't get stuck behind their teammate Emma Leckie. But we see the cars come out now. Now, has there been a change in positions in the pit, Rio?
No, probably because they all came in at the same time, but yeah, I think they might start being a bit cheeky and overtake others while in the pit lane.
We had a yellow flag in sector 1, which was MVR. So MVR has had a moment. We don't know exactly what it was. They're 11 seconds clear. They went on to intermediate tyres, but there was a yellow flag for them. So whether or not that was just a spin or whether or not they've picked up damage, but they definitely caused a yellow flag. We have had some changes as a result of the pit stop. So SHS is still in second. It's moved up into second. Emma Leckie was there when they all came into the pits. N1A is now in third. Hypno in fourth. And Emma Leckie and SS7 have both dropped back into fifth and sixth. So just over halfway in the race as the rain has now started to come down. And we'll see how good these drivers really are. We're following N1A here as they are trying to either stay with it or get past them. Within 1 second, but we have no DRS now, so The rain is too heavy. Race control not happy to have DRS enabled. And you can see how much they have to slow down here, Rio. And we've got Emma Leckie and M1A battling out here. It's going to get tight as the wet they touch going in. I think that was turn 7 or 8. That was really tight from the two of them. They look as though they've come out unscathed from that, but it's an aggressive move on this wet track from Emma Leckie, but they're both still going here. As Emma Leckie takes a big chunk of curb going through there as we head over the bridge in just a moment. It gets really slippery on the track over the bridge here, and we're braking and turning at the same time, trying to get these cars stopped in these increasingly wet conditions. Water, no standing water we're seeing at the moment, so these intermediates just about hanging on. Emma Leckie trying to find a way past. Perhaps the switchback is on, as Emma Leckie's got that loose rear end. Trying to get the power down, incredibly difficult. We stay on board as we're now trying to get past M1A, not giving them any room. Emma Leckie trying to get around the outside of 16, not making it stick there. So will they be able to do it? Good exit as they head into turns 18 and 19. Emma Leckie is past M1A, moves up into 4th spot, but goes wide, and maybe they hit the wall there. They went very, very wide, Emma Leckie, but they are still in front of N1A. Roll towards the end of this race. We still do have 10 laps to go, folks, so we're 2/3 of the way through. The rain does well as SS7 loses it on the way out of the very last corner. Hopefully they caught it before they came up against the wall, but SS7 really struggling now, and maybe that's a sign, Rio, that full wet tyres may be the way to go.
Full wet tyres, I think it is. There's only one option now. Yeah, that was very highly unexpected, and I think SS7 might be pitting to go on the wet tyres because it looks like it's got even heavier than last.
Wands and Obo still trading blows here. Wands not yet able to get past as we get the helicopter view as they come around that really tight hairpin at 13. Looking to get back on the power, and you've got to use the pace of the car, your setup, and the ERS to get past, because you can't use DRS now as that has been disabled. So Wands has got to find a way past somehow from Obo, but very close between these two on lap 22. MVR's just started that of the G-Force Racing League from here in Singapore. Pete has pointed out that he's starting to see standing water on the track, and as Rio was suggesting, I think wets are really the only option for most of our drivers. Now, there's some real quality out there who might be thinking they'll chance their arm, that they're good enough to keep it between the white lines and out of the walls. We shall see, but for some of them it may be necessary to get on those wets just to make sure that they finish. This is the closest battle on track, folks. Wands for Aston Martin and Obo for AlphaTauri for 7th and 8th place. The cars above have started to spread out a little bit as the nature of the weather, as we see the puddles on the side of the track. One's looking to go down the inside here. Have they made that stick, or have they gone too deep? So Obo will come back in front of them as Wands tried too hard in that corner, misjudged their braking. And Rio, that's so easy to do in the wet.
Yeah, it is extremely easy because you do have to brake a lot earlier, and I think Wands braked very late going into Memorial.
So this battle ever so close between these two, but looks very nice and clean from these. And these drivers are going to pick up some significant points. Moving up even just one place has a big difference to where our teams are going to finish at the end of the season, and indeed where each of them individually as drivers are going to finish, as well as we see Obo really struggling for grip. That really is going to give Wands an opportunity, as they will now have the inside, I think, for 16 here. But Obo holding on to it. They're very close together, standing side by side, the two of them. Will Wands be able to hang on to the outside? No, they think better of it into 18. Very close driving by these two. But Obo now has the same problem as SS7 and looks to be heading straight for the wall, as Wands done enough to get past here. Looks as though they've gone beyond track limits for Wands, so we'll see if that gets reported at the end. But Obo's so tough for them to hold on to it in the track. They clearly struggle, but now Wands has indeed given them that place back. So very considerate driving from Wands, recognising. Rio, that's quite good to see, isn't it, from Wands? They recognised they went beyond track limits and gave the position back.
Yeah. Very good racing from for Wands. Good to see that he did give the position back. But Obo getting very, very squirrely. A lot worse than SS7 was before.
These two are not giving it up. I'm seeing in the chat that MVR may have lost connection. So hopefully one of our drivers there. We see MVR is back in the game, so that's good. Sadly, that's always the risk with internet-based gaming. We're so dependent on those connections remaining stable. Emeleki has come into the pit, so I wonder if they are just going on to new intermediates or they're going to go on to wets. This one's Obo battle is ever so close, Rio. I think they're both going to be reporting each other to the FIA at the end.
I think so, yeah. Obo, I think, might already have someone already reported into the FAA. Yeah, well, we see Obo heading into pits there. So I think seeing that they were really struggling, maybe they will go on to some wet tyres or some new intermediate. So that promotes Wands up into 8th place. Personally, I was quite enjoying that battle, and it was good racing on the large part between both of them. And I respect Wands for recognising they overtook whilst leaving track limits. So very aware driving by those drivers. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, and it was. Now Peter's saying it was a Ferrari. Now, yes, indeed, MVR has suddenly lost 6 seconds to SHS. Ooh.
And have they got damage? Rio, this will put. They indeed. Can you see that rear front wing damage?
Yeah, that bit on the front wing. Yeah.
So is MVR? Is Rain going to be MVR's nemesis once again?
I think so. Yeah. He doesn't look to be pitting for repairs, as he goes very wide again and again. Or I think he might be. I think Domo. Oh, sorry, not Domo. SHS might catch up to him very quickly.
With this front damage, is in these kind of conditions, I'd say in the wet, in the dry, I'd give MVR a fighting chance. But this is going to put them under all sorts of pressure. We've got 5 laps left of round 8 of the G-Force Racing League from here in Singapore. MVR, as you can see, is basically going to be unlapped here by Domo Pierce. So that's how slow MVR is having to go. And MVR is going beyond track limits on a number of occasions here. So SHS has made up a second, I think, in just the last few corners. Rio, has MVR got to give this up and go and change that front wing, or is that just going to cost them too much time now?
I think if I was him, to be honest, I'd just pit because it is making him very squirrely, and it's also making him go very wide in the corners. So I would just pit because there's more chance of, in my point of view, there's more chance of him spinning and or hitting the wall than. He's actually left.
I wonder if just MVR has had some connection problems today, and that may have contributed. They are asking for another invite again, so I'm hoping one of our drivers will be able to let them back in. But certainly that gap now to SHS is down to under 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds, as MVR is coming in to the pits. I don't know whether or not that's computer controlled or that's MVR's own decision, but they are in. So that's promoting SHS into first place. Hypno is into second. MVR currently in third, but in the pits. N1A is currently in fourth, but is likely until he does move past them into third. I think MVR very frustrated, understandably, by the connection issues today. with the game, and that's unfortunate for them, but they are slipping down the order. SS7 moving up now into 4th, as we see MVR will slip down. So we'll see if this is going to help Hypno. Hypno does have a 3-second penalty, so SHS will not necessarily need to fight Hypno. But Rio, have you been impressed with Hypno today? They had a good qualifying, and now they seem to be hunting down SHS as well.
Yeah. Hypno. We weren't really on him much, but yeah, he's doing a brilliant job. And if he can catch up to SHS and maybe pass him, which will be a bit unlikely because we do have only like around about 4 laps to go. But no, they're very, very good for them, and I think it might be his first podium of the season because he will probably stay in second because M1A is about 11 seconds behind.
Down on SS7 now, so it could be another SS7 Emeleki battle as SS7 gets a 3-second time penalty. So, well, actually, we have to remember, Rio, don't we? Emeleki has got a plethora of penalties, I think. So let's just have a quick check. Yeah, okay. So 9 seconds for Emeleki. SS7 will see that on their dash, so they will know that they don't necessarily have to fight that, and can probably let it. Well, we see SS7 so wild again out of that last corner, Rio.
Yeah, I'm loving this because it's so entertaining. But SS7, yeah.
Both drivers at it now, and well, hopefully these both keep it on track as Emeleki does look to go down the inside of SS7, but doesn't make that one stick. Let's ride on board with Emeleki, and we'll see if they maybe make a move. I don't know. I know SS7 and Emeleki are both racers. They'll be racing for position here, regardless of penalties. But Emeleki made a lovely move on SS7 there, and they have moved up into 4th place on the track at least. But we'll need to get 6 seconds clear of SS7 in order to retain that 4th place come the checkered flag. So well done to Emeleki. That's a good move. Hypno continuing to get ever closer to SHS. That was 3 seconds a few moments ago. Rio looks like it'll be closer to 2 seconds, under 2 seconds now. I wonder if SHS has had a moment. They seem to be dropping time all the time.
SHS, I can see that. Yeah, I think Hypno might have a chance at passing him, but he will still might jump down to second. But it's good for the challenge. I think they both have equal tires, so they might both have a moment at one point.
So Hypno definitely has a lot more pace right now than SHS. They basically lost 2 seconds in that last lap alone. Whether or not they had a brief spin or a brief moment, as we've seen many of our drivers have today, but Hypno looks on for getting past. Now, they've got to get 3 seconds ahead, of course. They do have that penalty, so they're not going to necessarily finish in second. MVR, we see, has rejoined. It's good that they at least have come back to us to pick up some further points for them and Ferrari, but they'll be ruining Rain and they'll be ruining the EA servers, sadly, today. And so should we. They were doing so well as they were before, but that's going to keep the championship certainly interesting. We've got 1.5 laps left to go, folks, of round 8 of the GeForce Racing League here in Singapore. And we've got Hypno with perhaps a potentially better exit. You can see those wheels really struggling to get grip, particularly on these very old intermediate tyres now. Ace Pilot has sadly spun in front of them. Hopefully not too much of distraction. Looks as though they are through that very quickly. That's good. So Hypno sticking with SHS, and we're going to stay with this group as we come to start the very last lap of the Singapore Grand Prix for the GeForce Racing League. This league always giving us entertaining racing week on week, and that's happened right since the very first race, our pre-season in Spain. So if you're joining us for the first time on M1 Racing, remember to come back and see us next week, because you do get great racing like this every single week on the GeForce Racing League. We've started the last lap 31 of the Singapore Grand Prix. Hypno looking to get past SHS on the track. They'll be wishing those 3 seconds away, or hoping that they put enough pressure on SHS that they also pick up 3 seconds, Rio. That's also a possibility here.
Yeah, it is. As Hypno's just got past them now, and we're gonna see shortly how much time he can put on him, because I'm sure he'll be all pumped and ready to put the 3 seconds on SHS. It will be very close, but SHS is a very, very quick driver. We might see Hypno end up in second, which is very unfortunate for him because he was doing a great job.
Yeah, we do see N1A, shout out for them as well, because they're currently circulating in third, so they're going to get the third place on the podium with no penalties at all. So N1A has done a very good job for Alfa Romeo there, but Hypno is first on the track as we come round the final corners of the G-Force Racing League from here in Singapore. SHS has stuck with them, so I think they've decided we can let Hypno go. We can let them go over the line first, because SHS knows, barring any last-minute error, that they're going to take victory here in Singapore. We're going to go round the final 2 corners here for the Singapore Grand Prix. Hypno is going to lead us over the line, first on the track, but SHS will take victory for the G-Force Racing League from round 8 in Singapore. Congratulations to them. Hypno will take second place on the podium. N1A comes home in third for Alfa Romeo. Emeleki very close behind them initially, but MVR has made up huge numbers of places in those final laps and has taken fourth place. Perhaps small consolation for them, but a great recovery after what was a really challenging moment towards the end of that race. MVR comes in fourth. Emeleki goes into fifth with their numerous penalties. SS7 was looking strong earlier on in the race when it was dry, but wasn't to be for them. They come home in sixth. David T has finished there in seventh. Congratulations, David. Seventh place for them and Haas. Wands is our next driver to come over the line for Aston Martin. More good points for Aston Martin today. That's going to help him out significantly in the Constructors' Championship. Congratulations, Wands. Obo is going to come over the line in ninth, having had quite some battles with Wands during the race. Domo Pierce is going to come over in 10th spot for McLaren. Some way back, but still going, and that's the point here. If you can keep going with everything else that goes on in the race, your team can pick up points, and you as a driver can pick up points. So Domo Pierce coming over the line very shortly in 6th. An ace pilot will have already finished having been lapped. So our last driver over the line, Domo Pierce for McLaren.
So joy there for SHS and Aston Martin, and heartache once again for MVR, J-Repo and Ferrari. I know J-Repo will be hoping for no rain next week when round 9 of the G-Force Racing League appears in Barcelona, the scene of the pre-season race, and it will be also the home for round 9. If you want to know what that's done to the drivers' standings and the constructors' standings, come and join us Wednesday 8 p.m. UK time. We'll be starting a little bit earlier than that, just to share with you the current standings as they are today, with the results included from Singapore. My name's been Mark. You've been watching M1 Racing and some extended highlights of round 8 of the G-Force Racing League from Singapore. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time on M1 Racing. Until then, stay safe. See you soon.